The K Jazz Show, Sundays on Kofifi FM 97.2.
Our next guest is born Standile Agatha Dube. She's a British jazz vocalist and musician of South African lineage. Dee Lee Dube has become the first British winner and recipient of the Sassy Award for the 5th annual Vaughan International Jazz Vocal Competition, including Best International Collaboration at the 2021 Mzantsi Jazz Awards. Raised around an eclectic range of music, she picked up the violin at 4 years old and had her own band at 14. Performed around London's vibrant music scene, and she's also, the daughter to Zimbabwean fashion designer and famed South African jazz pianist and musician Jabu Nkosi. Growing up in East Dulwich, southeast London, where she's currently based, she joins us this afternoon, as she gives a sneak peek into the project that she's been working on before. That, though, we want to get to know Miss Dee Lee a little bit better. So please help me welcome to Kofifi FM, Miss Dee Lee Dube.
Hello, greetings. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us. I love how technology has allowed us to reach to London, in a matter of seconds, as opposed to having to travel all the way, to have this conversation this Sunday. Let's talk about your beginnings with music, Dee Lee. How did you know that this was your calling? I mean, apart from, the lineage itself.
Well, it's a story that is quite non-linear, as my journey in music stems right back to when I was a child. As you mentioned, I picked up the violin at the age of 4, which is quite commonplace over here in the UK. Most kids, back when I was younger anyway, would practice a particular instrument. I chose violin, or perhaps my mother chose violin on my behalf. But I very much believe that helped to nurture my ear. And so from there onwards, I developed a real kind of great sense of musicality. And a very good ear, which I developed over time. Then as a teenager, I picked up the violin again. But around this time, I had also discovered my voice. Of course, my voice at that time was still very small and still developing. But I realized and knew, having had a very strong sense of purpose at a young age, that singing was what I wanted to do, singing and performing. And of course, that tied in with dance, as most kids enjoy dancing and, having fun with movement. Yeah. But I always kind of knew that singing was it for me. And that also went hand in hand with my twin brother. He was also the same. We would often engage in competitions, dance competitions, and we often made music together. He would rap and I would sing. So there was a real cool exchange going on between us. Wow. Which I think a lot of twins tend to have. So that's how it started. And then I also took the academic path. So I chosen to study music at degree level, and that obviously built on my knowledge, my understanding, and really informed me on the wide scope of music around the world, because it was actually Western classical music and world music that I studied, alongside the theory and the aesthetics and so on and so forth. But that really built my understanding, and I dug my teeth into studying music and media. And then I attended the Brit School as well. And that's when I really honed my skills, and also taught myself how to play the piano at a basic level. But it really, really helped me as a musician to write songs and also gain a fuller musical understanding and fuller depth of my instrument, the voice. And more recently, back in 2017, this actually coincided with the time that I won the Sarah Vaughan competition.
Yeah.
I studied voice studies at the Royal Central School of Speech and Drama. It was a master's degree. I graduated in 2018, and that was hugely intense because at that time I happened to be on a residency at the Ronnie Scott's Jazz Club in Soho, London. And so I was doing several things at once. I was on my residency at Ronnie Scott's. I was traveling to the US. I was recording an album and studying all at once. So it was incredibly intense, but extremely eye-opening. And I learned so much. And yeah, just as I said, I graduated in 2018 with a MAS degree, so Master of Arts degree in Voice Studies, and continued on my pursuit in my career, and my craft in music and singing.
Quite the well-rounded artist you are, with the academia in check, the instrumentation in check, and of course now this voice that you are bestowed with. You were the granddaughter of Mzantsi Nkosi, and I remember meeting his music personally, at home, and how revered he was in the jazz community, in the jazz circles. And for you, was there ever a moment where you perhaps, felt you were under pressure because of this legacy?
Not particularly, no, because I have pretty much informed myself and educated myself. I've decided to take on this path. And of course, it's amazing to have this wonderful lineage. It's great. My grandfather being the wonderful composer that he was, and band leader and pioneer, of course. But no pressure, merely because I think I would say I embraced it, and it has, if anything, it has strengthened my sense of purpose, because I only really came to understand what my grandfather and father were all about not so long ago. I was raised by my grandmother and my mother in this country, and my parents met over here. However, I didn't grow up with my dad. So that to me didn't take anything away. If anything, it's kind of, I think it's strengthened my bond with my father. I feel like, in a way, a sense of completion, and I've embraced it. I don't feel the pressure. I just feel that more of a stronger sense of purpose in what I'm doing.
one look and you know she's so tender and warm. You'll recognize this is love, and you'll find yourself on another plane, 500 miles high. Be sure that your love stays so free, then it never can die. You realize this is true. Above the skies, you will always stay 500 miles high. 500 miles high. You see, just one look and you know she's so tender and warm. You recognize this is love. You find yourself on another plane, 500 miles high. Be sure that your love stays so free, then it never can die. You realize this is true. And above the skies, you will always stay 500 miles high. 500 miles high. Oh, 500
I want us to go back a bit, to the mentioned fifth annual Sarah Vaughan International Jazz Vocal Competition. You won the Sassy Award, and this gave you an opportunity to appear at the Montreal Jazz Festival. Let's reflect on this experience, though.
Yeah, that was back in 2017, quite incredible. Of course, for it being my first time in Montreal. This stemmed from the victory in the US at the NJPAC in New Jersey. So this formed part of the winning package, I guess, if you can call it that. And that summer was extremely hot in Montreal. Of course, it was their summer as well. And we flew over there. I touched down in New York to begin with. And I remember feeling incredibly excited. And I was staying in the heart of Times Square in this swanky hotel. And, I, for the first time, met up with the rest of my band, that being Benito Gonzalez, who's the great jazz pianist, and also Corker and Holt on bass, and Mark Whitfield Jr. So we had this period of time in New York, first of all, just to kind of get to know each other a bit. We conducted some rehearsals, and it was also at that time that Russell Malone walked into the studio, and we had a good old time. We had a great laugh. Great guy, great guitarist, and then we flew off to Montreal for the festival, and there I met Mark Ruffin, who's an American broadcaster and producer.
Yeah.
And we basically had a brilliant time, a whale of a time on stage. We performed most of the tracks on the Trying Times album. We were very, very well received. I was absolutely humbled by the experience there. The audience and the atmosphere was electric. So it was a great debut at the festival, and I can't wait to go back, really.
Oh, love to hear it. Of course, Kofifi is spending time with Daily, and we're talking about her music, the life and times of the Trying Times project. In fact, you have 4 projects under your belt, the last one, of course, being Trying Times, receiving 4 nominations at the Mzantsi Jazz Awards and ultimately winning Best International Collaboration. Let's talk about that project. We met you, a lot of us, through that project. A project that got the thumbs up, by the way, from jazz pianist Chick Corea. Let's reflect on the process, the creative process of that project.
Yes, again, a very humbling experience. I believe it was actually 5 nominations from the Mzantsi Jazz Awards.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
my apologies.
Yes, not at all. However, the creative process, again, was a lengthy process because it started over here in the UK. Obviously, me being here and the rest of the personnel being in the US, there was this cross-collaboration going on between Benito and I. So we did a lot of exchanging of files, talking over the phone, talking over WhatsApp, a lot of that, and just deciding what kind of material that we're going to focus on. The selection process, I would say, was inspired by a combination of ideas from other musicians that I know, and also just my own musical understanding, my own repertoire, and also my playlist. So just my own scope of knowledge. So, for example, with Trying Times, written by Donny Hathaway and Leroy Hudson, this was inspired by a musician friend of mine who actually said, "This is a great tune, what do you think about doing this one?" And I said, "Well, yeah, you're absolutely right. It resonates, it's perfect because it speaks to the times that we are in. However, bear in mind that, there's always some kind of crisis going on in the world, always. And that's just the way of life." But I particularly liked how it spoke to that particular moment that we were in. There was actually a lot going on at that time. And so that's why I selected Trying Times, and, above all, the fact that it's a great tune.
Yeah.
On a Clear Day as well is another great one. One of my favorites, in fact, by Sarah Vaughan. I've listened to several versions, and you'll hear a lot of vocalists tell you, or say, how when it comes to selecting material, you don't really listen to just one version. You go across the board, just to get that wider scope of understanding and to be able to interpret it. I think the whole interpretation process is also important. So I absorbed a whole load of different kinds of material that spoke to me at that time, and decided to include it on the track list. So, as you know, there's also Lazy Afternoon, and so that's where that stems from. It spoke to me at that particular time. I felt it, and that's why I included it.
Try to think that love's not around, but it's uncomfortably near. My old heart ain't gaining no ground, because my angel eyes ain't here. Angel eyes that old devil sent, they go unbearably bright. Need I say that my love's misspent, misspent with angel eyes tonight? Drink up, all you people, order anything you see, have fun, all you happy people, for the drinks and the laughs on me. Pardon me that I've got to run. The facts uncommonly clear. I've got to find who's now number one, and why my angel eyes ain't here. people. All the anything you see. Have fun, all you happy people. For the drinks and the laughs on me. Pardon me, but I've got to run. The facts uncommonly clear. Got to find who's now number one, and why my angel eyes ain't here.
You're tuned into Kofifi FM 97.2, where it all began.
You have new music, though, and which really informs why you and I got together this afternoon. We're sharing music from the new project, of a project called Love Ballads with the Juan Galiardo Trio. How did that collaboration come about?
Well, we've just come out of this crazy period that we've been in. I mean, we're not fully out of it yet, I suppose. It's continuing. However, during the thick of it, back in 2020, Juan and I got together. Now, Juan and I also have a backstory, because just to fill you in on that, we worked together previously back in 2017 it was, yeah. So that was a good year. That was a very busy year as well, where we were called to perform in Ceuta, Spain, which is also Africa, just on the African border. But it was my first time traveling to Ceuta, and a crazy and exciting journey it was, because I'd never really been on a ferry or a boat, really. It was like a very unstable seas, and I actually felt seasick on the way, because you have to cross over from Gibraltar to get to Ceuta.
Yeah.
So it was either that or a helicopter. So we took a boat, and I was seasick, I'll admit it. However, we got there safe and sound, and that was the first time I met Juan Galiardo, and we hit it off straight away. We had a really good connection musically. I was over there with Renato D'Aiello as well, my tenor saxophonist, Italian tenor saxophonist, who I work with regularly as well. And we did that performance in Ceuta, which was a huge success. The audience received us very well. The Spanish press were amazing. We just got headlines, brilliant headlines. One which I can recall, where they said, they basically made a huge statement here, calling me the goddess of jazz.
Hey.
So that was a huge and very humbling title to take hold of. But I realized that, yes, well, when things like this happen, it's so rewarding, because it just reaffirms why you do what you do, and just reasserts your purpose, my sense of purpose.
Absolutely.
So that's how Juan Galiardo and I first met. And we then decided to continue our working together, collaborating. We got together in 2020. And in fact, we were called by what's called the Brecon Jazz Festival over here in Wales, in the UK, in Wales. My first time again. But as you are aware, we were under lockdown. Nothing was really functioning. Nothing was open. So the same goes for the Brecon Jazz Festival. So it was the first of its kind to where it was a Brecon Jazz Festival virtually. So it was the virtual version of this festival. And we basically recorded these pieces remotely, believe it or not. So Juan was over in Granada, Spain. He recorded his parts with his trio.
Yeah.
I recorded my parts over here in London solo. Yeah. And it was a case of merging the two together. Yeah. To bring the sound and the music that you've got there. So that's how those pieces, those tracks were put together in a nutshell.
I took a trip on a train, and I thought about you. I passed a shadowy lane and I thought about you. 2 or 3 cars parked under the stars, winding stream, shining down on some little town, and with each beam, same old dream. At every stop that we made, I thought about you. But when I pulled down the shade, then I really got blue. I peeked through the crack and looked at the track, the one going back to you, and what did I do? I thought about you. And what did I do? I thought about you.
Once again, we pay tribute to the technology, how we get to create music differently, being from in different parts of the world, this conversation, that collaboration. And so far, we've heard about 3 tracks, 3 singles of the new project, but now you've whet the appetite. When's the full project coming, Dee Lee?
The full project. Okay, well, we're currently in the process of getting that finalized. And I would say right now we're probably in the pre-production process. So we've got these tracks that you hear so far, and they will probably be included on the new album itself.
Yeah.
So right now we are still getting that together. And yeah, I just wanted to provide you all with a teaser, really, because I kind of feel that back in 2020 and onwards, so much was going on. Yes, we had the amazing Brecon Jazz Festival. It was actually broadcast worldwide, thankfully, via Brecon Jazz Festival. However, I kind of got the sense that not everyone had the chance to hear the music. So this is primarily why I decided to go ahead and send these tracks to you alongside others, so that you can get a feel of what we've been doing and what's likely to be ahead, what's in the pipeline. So this is I guess, the vein that we're going on right now. And there's more to come. So hopefully, I don't want to give you a specific date right now, but I will say very soon, it's coming.
Speaking of soon, many of us following your work since, you were introduced to us through your Trying Times project. And now we're dying to find out, is there a South African tour soon in the pipeline?
Oh, Guaco, I would love to say yes. I would love to. I was actually thinking perhaps I could make a request right now, right here. Come on, festival organizers, promoters, programmers. I'm right here. Call me in. I'm ready. I'm your person. I would love to come over and perform in South Africa. It's a dream. What can I say? I'm just waiting for the call. As soon as I receive that call, I'm there. I am there. So I'd love to say very soon. I'm not sure what the situation is like over there in terms of COVID, but I would like to say very, very soon. I'm ready. It wouldn't be just me. It would be the full personnel, the band, Benito Gonzalez, Corker and Holt, Mark Whitfield Jr., and hopefully Russell Malone, maybe, so.
Let's just hope they heard you from your mouth to their, before we wrap it up, how do we keep up with you on the social media? Where can we find you? Where can we find the music? Because, jazz cats always want to follow around, follow artists around for the physical copy. How do we get in touch with you, or how do we get a hold of that?
Okay, well, social media is a wonderful thing, isn't it? So absolutely. I would say I'm mostly on Instagram. Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of these little gadgets, these things. So yeah, you can find me there. For Instagram, it's Dee Lee Dube music. I believe it's the same for Facebook, Dee Lee Dube music. TikTok, it's the Angel Voice. So that's D for Dee Lee, Angel Voice on TikTok. Twitter, it's Dee Lee Dube. That's the handle for that. So yeah, or simply just call on Google. Google's your guy. Just tap in Dee Lee Dube, and I'm sure everything will pop up, including YouTube. So it's all there.
I love to hear it. Now, in closing, what would you like to say to your South African fans? I mean, they're dying to meet you. And yes, we said very soon the album is available on streaming services and online, and they can hit you up on your social media. But to close off, this interview, what would you like to say to your South African fans?
I would like to say, first of all, it's an honor to have your support. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. It means everything, especially with the fact that, of course, that's my lineage, that's my culture, that's where my family are from. I cannot wait to meet you all and perform, most importantly, for you all. It's a dream of mine. It's been a huge dream for a very long time to travel to South Africa. So make sure, if you can, put out that request and I'll be there, But yes, again, thank you for your continued support. Keep an ear out for the new music. It's coming. And stay blessed, stay well. And I love you all.
Dee Lee Dube on the K-Jazz Show.
Brave Indian warrior, since first I met you, I can't forget you. Cherokee sweetheart, child of the prairie, your love keeps calling my heart and falling, my Cherokee. Dreams of summertime, lover time gone by. From my memory, so tenderly inside my brave Indian warrior. Someday I'll hold you in my arms. I'll hold you, my child.